TV and books, my corner of YouTube. I pray that you and your family are all doing well today and that you enjoy today's video. As you can see, I am doing part 2 of my of me dealing with PTSD. I am going to now talk to you about things that happened to me after losing Trey. So after losing Trey, a year and a half later, I actually did get pregnant again, and the father and I, we were going to be together forever because we kept saying it. We were planning a wedding and all this kind of stuff, planning on moving in together and all this. And as soon as I got pregnant, all of a sudden he was like, I'm not ready to be a dad. I'm not ready for this responsibility. And yeah, so it was over for us. But again, I was a Roberts girl. I'm going to take this responsibility and I'm going to make it do what I do. Okay? And so that's what happened. I did have my son, and after having him, immediately after having him, he started having health issues, and I started having health issues to the point where I started having seizures, and it was just really, really bad. They didn't know. I started hemorrhaging. We didn't know if they can stop the bleeding. They didn't know if this was going to be my last day. Everything. It was just so bad. And it led me to the point where I could no longer have children. And it was devastating, because even though when I was younger, because they told me I couldn't have children, I didn't want children because I couldn't have any. But now that I had Trey, and now that I had Asley, I wanted babies. I wanted the happily ever after, and I didn't get that. So then I lost my mom, and then I was devastated. I needed something to kill the pain. I needed someone to kill the pain of me not being able to have children again. I needed someone to kill the pain of me losing my mother, and of course of losing Trey. So I kept getting all these crazy piercings, and some of them kept getting infected and all this kind of stuff, so we had to take them out. Or I was in a car accident, so they had to remove them anyway because I had to go through the MRI and all that kind of stuff. So what did I do? I went ahead and got married. Worst mistake ever. Got married, and on our wedding night, he decided, because I can't help Mother Nature, period came on, he gets mad. And we are literally fighting. That man put his hands on me. He found out he was messing with the wrong one, because I picked up that lamp, okay? And hit him upside his head. And he that egg was fruit. And I was like, he was like, you weren't supposed to hit me back. I don't know who you been dealing with. Because at that time, all this anger, he got a lot of that anger. He didn't get enough of it. But he got that anger that I had built up. Hunting. I let him have it. And that was the worst year of my life, being married to that man. And I was like, I remember praying, Lord, if you just send me one more fight, this is going to be over. And I kid you not, by the end of that prayer, we were fighting. We were fighting. And he will tell people to this day that it was because I was in church. That was the thing that broke up our marriage. Whatever. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm done. So I was just living life, and I decided one year to go to North Carolina to see my godfather, and I fell in love with the state. Came back home to Wisconsin, told family and friends I am leaving, I'm packing up, and I'm selling my house, and I'm leaving. No one believed me until actually they saw boxes. They was like, she playing. Shit the boxes. They was like, oh, she for real. Had pretty nice length of hair, and when I tell you I buzzed it off to like a quarter of an inch, it was about whole new beginnings and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. So I was here for a couple of years, and I was like, you know what? I can't make it here. I'm ready to go. I'm not necessarily back home. My niece moved to Texas. I was like, well, I'll go see what's happening over in Texas. And getting ready to put in my I didn't give it 2 weeks. I'm about to give a 2-month notice. And that weekend, no, it was, no, I was going to give them a 1-month notice, because in the latter part of November, I already knew my current husband. We would just say, hi, how you doing? Fine, okay, and boom, that was it. I was told that he was married, so I ain't dealing around with no married man. And he was told that I had a boyfriend, so he wasn't dealing around with no girl who got no boyfriend. So we kept it at high like that for over a year. So I went to tell him that, you know, I'm leaving and stuff like that, and I packed up my stuff. Asley was at work there with me that day, and I was getting ready to walk out, and he just happened to start talking to me. And I'm telling y'all, we stood there talking for about like an hour. I mean, googly eyes, and you could just feel chemistry, that it was, this is it, chemistry. And so we stood there forever talking, and then we said our goodbyes, and I remember leading, walking to the car with Asley, and I was like, Asley, were we flirting? He was like, yeah, y'all was flirting. Oh, Mom. So, anyway, we went on our first date. I want to say it was like December 13th, and it was to my Christmas party at that job. And we went together, and how we were, people thought we were together for months or even years prior to this day, because the chemistry was bananas. We got everybody that Monday, everybody else like, we need to know. I was like, y'all need to know nothing. And I think he cleaned on Thursdays. He cleaned that building only on Thursdays. So when we saw each other, it was like, hey, you know, how you doing? And smiling, everybody like, Everybody had to make sure they was there on Thursday so they could see us together. But I was like, okay, whatever. And our first date was in December. We got married in April. Okay? And it's been 11 years now. Yeah. I love my boo-boo. Love you, baby. He always watches my videos. And he has been a blessing to me. Now, we went through the thing, you know, that, I couldn't have kids, and he was explaining his situation, you know, of not knowing and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not going to tell you his story. He can tell that one day if he desires to do so here. And yeah, we decided that, you know, adoption came up, and we were like, I don't know. And I'm gonna tell you guys, that was the most fun but stressful part to be, you know, put in. I'm like, oh, I want this child, you know, let me foster or let me adopt this child. And they be like, no, you're not the one. You're not the one. You're not the one. You're not the one. And it was this one little girl. I just knew God was gonna bless us with her, and it didn't happen. And I cried myself to sleep. Do you hear me? I cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up, the scripture about I'm gonna put it up here because I can't the only thing I can do is paraphrase it. Okay, I'm gonna put the full scripture up here. Is that I had a peace that passes all understanding. When I woke up, I was at peace. Peace. I mean, for real peace. I didn't hurt. There was no ache in my heart. There was no ache in my head. Acceptance that, okay, that one was not for us because I knew that he had something better. Oh my God, that blew my mind, okay? We get a letter, an email. We got 2 girls that we know is a perfect match for you and your husband. I was like, I bet you it's them 2 little girls that we seen, and I was like, and it looked like that something was wrong, you know, with them, and they did have medical issues and stuff like that. So I said, I bet you it's them. Clicked the picture and it was. And I said, you know what? Them are my daughters. Hands down, those are my daughters. Me and my husband prayed. Boom. Yes, you're absolutely right. Send me my babies. You know, that kind of thing. And we went through that process. And guys, we had to sit in front of a board of 14 people. Now, before this happened, I had just had my bout with H1N1. And my husband nursed me. Ashley nursed me. Them two were my heroes, okay? And during that time, and it was comical how we found out and all that kind of stuff. So they nursed me, and I told them, I was like, no, my husband, he's no, he's all that and a bag of chips, okay? And we talked, and we did not talk as if, well, those girls, my daughters. I already did my research, honey. I had pages of research on their health condition. I had pages of research with the phone calls that I had made back and forth to the doctors and stuff like that. Honey, it was so funny because they said we knew that they were your girls before you guys did. That is how God worked that thing out, okay? And they had been phenomenal. And I was so ticked off. Because let me tell you how they let us know that we were awarded our girls. Through an email. They said they were going to call us. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And at the end of the day, some just said, Stephanie, check your email. Congratulations, you got the girls. I was like, you get more excited about a puppy. That was just like saying... That was like saying nothing. I was so disappointed. Something that was going to change my life for the rest of my life. And that's how you tell me? I was so disappointed. I was so over it. But we had 2 beautiful girls. And then one of the girls happened to be a little bit more sickly. Her name was Jordan. And I remember us praying, and we were like, no, not the devil is a lie. And then she had to have a procedure. They had to put a port in her because her veins were shot. She had to get transfusions often. She had sickle cell, just so you know. She had sickle cell. And then when they went to go put the port in, they found that her lungs were literally glued to her chest wall. And they were like, well, to the ribs and stuff. They said they had to, pull them off and stuff like that. They said that this is the worst set of lungs she had ever seen and stuff like that. And she told us, the condition, what she had pulmonary hypertension, and she was like, no, this is terminal. This is, I'm sorry, she kept saying, apologize. And I'm telling her, like, what she had, like, my baby about to die, literally, I'm like, the devil is a lie. A lie. And, they called us into this meeting and stuff like that, and they're talking, and I'm like, you crazy? And I remember me and my husband walking back to the car. I said, dang, baby, this made it sound like my baby about to die. He was like, did it though? And I don't know if he understood, because I know I didn't. And I'm the medical one out of the two of us. And I'm like, I know they lying. I ain't believing that. And he was like, and we got this praying the tongue. And I'm like, yes, sir. Claim it, baby. And we just living life, you know? And things are falling into place, you know. God putting people in our lives, and I didn't understand at that time, but I just thought it was because we were awesome people, you know. God placing these individuals in our lives. And I'm like, what is this? You know, now I can see now it was all a setup, because he was preparing us for what was about to happen. 2 years later, we're going to get the girls. I'm at my mom's house in Janesville, which is an hour away from our house, and we were going to get them ready for Easter Sunday. You know, because they had to have their dresses. We went shopping earlier for their shoes, and now I had to go get their hair done for my sister's house. And my daughter, you know, she is already on oxygen and stuff at this time, and you know, I cranked it up, called the hospital, letting them know like what was going on. Letting them know what was going on. They said, well, you know, if you feel okay, you know, bring her, you know, to the hospital. We can check her out and stuff like that. And we was like, okay. So we did. She wasn't able to get her hair done that day, but the youngest one did, because she just wasn't feeling well. And she had threw up in McDonald's. There was a whole other story, because they were ratchet up in there. They made me mad. I had to clean up everything, and I remember saying, girl, dang on, you know, we threw up in McDonald's. And I'm like, baby, it's okay. Just take off your coat. I was frustrated, you know. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I wasn't frustrated at her, but I'm certain that I probably made it sound that way, you know. Sit in this car. Don't move. Let me know if you're not feeling well, you know. If you got to throw up again, if you put that mess on the outside of this car, don't throw up in my car. And because I had to go and clean up all, you know, the throw up and stuff. So, I just wasn't understanding what was going on. And as we left my mom's house, my godmom's house, I'm like, Lord, I don't know what's going on, but I need you to make this right, because tomorrow Easter Sunday, you know. So we get to the hospital, and they're taking it forever to tell us what was going on. And they did EKG, and they said, you know what, we're gonna keep you. No one wanted to touch her, because everybody was afraid to touch her. So we went to her normal doctors, her sickle cell doctors, who was the leading force of her care. And yeah, they were like talking to us and telling us what was going on, and having to make some decisions. I'm like, okay, decisions about what? Not knowing that my child was the sickest one in the hospital, not and just on that floor in the entire hospital. But if you looked at her, you would never had known it. I'm telling you, this is God. He was orchestrating something beautiful to come out of something that was devastating. I was blessed I wouldn't care if I lost my job or not, to be quite honest, at this point in time, but I knew I wasn't going back to work until my baby got out the hospital. Okay, so that was April. She was in the hospital from April to May, and things they would look like they were improving. They would go down and improve, go down, and it was just a roller coaster. I think a lot of it, again, was like when with Trey, I had to say, Lord, your will be done. And I wasn't saying that. Though my faith was, if this was the ceiling, my faith was way up here. You know what I'm saying? It was up to my ceiling right now. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew God had this under control. He had this. And he was going to perform miracles through this. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't the miracle that I wanted was for him to restore her. It was the miracle of seeing doctors coming and sitting and going to church who did not believe in him. Seeing that my daughter did not suffer. Seeing that my daughter did not look as how she was on the inside. I didn't have any of that. I wasn't doing a lot of crying. I'm going to tell you, he put people up. I would, go take a, break to go get something to eat or something like that, because, honey, they didn't feed the mama. I had to go down there and spend my own coins, okay? And thank God for all the donations and stuff people had given us during that time for me when I was there. I would go down to the reception desk down on the first floor, and honey, we had church, okay? Them women didn't care about, they was at work. They didn't care about shouting. They didn't care about preaching to me. They didn't care about uplifting me. That is what I had, okay? My church was phenomenal during this time. Phenomenal. My bishop was awesome. She came and baptized my baby. What we did was we put a list of things up. I gave her 11 things that she wanted to do. I wouldn't say it was her bucket list. I called it her I can't remember what I called that list. Dang, 50 sucks, okay? I'll put it up on the screen. I was about to look on my phone, but I got too many pictures on there to scroll through. Yeah, it was a list of things that we were going to do. And one of the things she wanted to do was cook for me. Honey, I'm like, girl, no. Because she called herself making me some tea. That heifer put salt and pepper in that tea. And I'm unbeknownst to me, okay? I got to drinking that. And I'm like, like they do on TV. They were giggling, her and her sister, they were just giggling. I'm like, you would never ever cook for me. And to this day, I never ate that. Now she's trying to get me to eat or drink. Okay, I'm like, I'm good. But mama, please, no, ma'am, no. That was one of the things on her list, to have a cell phone for a day. One of the nurses gave her their cell phone for the day. It was just so many things. She wanted one of these big old balls, a wobble ball, I think they were called, and she had one of those. And it was some things, a lot of things. She wanted to be in a wedding, and in fact, my husband and I were going to renew our vows, and we would have been 3 years married, and 3 is my favorite number if you didn't know. I was like, that'll be awesome. We will renew our vows in 3 years, and they will both be in a wedding. And it was going to be that Thursday, but she passed on Saturday, so she wasn't in the wedding, or earthly wedding. But however, as Bishop told us in her going home message, celebration message, was that she was a bride. So I was like, thank you, Lord. Yeah, it was, God decided to call her home on May 9th. And how I was, even when she left me, I just couldn't cry. I was like, because I was like, peace, I've been already talking to God about this, and he was telling me what was going to happen and how this was going to process. So I had the peace. Now, what I failed to have is, again, when I lost Trey, I couldn't celebrate with other women having babies. Now I can hear of women saying that, oh, my baby, they survived cancer, and they were, you can see the pictures out on Facebook, on Instagram, the baby in the hospital and all this kind of stuff, got tubes everywhere, and their baby came back. Well, mine didn't. That angst, that war that I fight. I didn't want to move from our house right away because I was afraid that her spirit was not going to follow us to our new house, that kind of thing. But every day I'm reminded of the love I've had for her, and the joy, the great times, when I feel the wind blow. It's not a day that I don't at least stick my head out so I can feel like she's there. God knows that when I look at her sister, I still see her. We have pictures. I have a big, huge quilt in our living room of her face and stuff like that. I'm like, Lord, 2 children. You have 2 of my kids. I don't understand this, A mother is not supposed to outlive her children. And you have 2. Guys, that's so hard. You don't know. I'm glad women have babies. That's what we were made to do. I'm glad. I know that. I can say that. But I'm also sad when I know that you guys are having babies and I can't. I'm sad when your babies get well and mine did not. I war with that. I war with that daily. I have to make a conscious to be like, no, Stephanie, you're going to celebrate with them. No, even if you're crying, you're going to celebrate with them, because your children are really lost to you. First of all, they really weren't yours to begin with, okay? God bless you with them to take care of them, and then you have to give them back. I was not ready to do that. And it is very, very hard. But I have to say that though it is hard, I refuse to go through this life with PTSD without God. My faith has helped me more than any drink, more than anything that I've done to my body, more than anything I've fed myself, because I use food as a comforter. When Jordan first went in the hospital, I was on a weight loss journey, and I had lost so much weight, guys. I was so happy with my progress, but I've been eating for comfort. I've been eating for pain, and I'm gonna tell you, I've been not a warrior, like a fighting warrior. I have not been that all my life. I have been a warrior. I worry about everything. And when the doctor said that I had irreversible, meaning it can't go back, it's dead. A part of my heart is dead because of stress, because of me not being able to let go. And in order for the rest of my heart to be okay, I need to let some stuff go. That has been the hardest thing for me. And knowing that I don't want any more damage to my heart, I am having to find ways to deal with my PTSD. And that is throwing myself in the Word of God. Now, am I hitting the mark every single day? No, I am not. Therefore, that's why I named it like living with PTSD, living with the fact that I've lost my children, living with the fact that people have done me wrong. I am always going to have that. But I don't have to be bitter about it every single day. I don't have to be down in the dumps. I don't have to be evil to people. I can do it with a smile. I can do it doing YouTube. I can do it doing Instagram. You know, I can do it as long as I have Christ in my life. I can do it, and I pray that you can too. One of the songs that I listen to now, and it reminds me of that, is the song "Step Aside" by Tamala Mann. And the part of the lyrics, it is it starts off saying, "Hold on, don't give up, don't you worry, you don't have to cry, 'cause he sees what you're going through." And then she says, "This didn't catch him by surprise, so just trust him and just step aside. These obstacles, they were allowed. He wants to take you higher and higher if you will hold on. God is willing and more than able, and that this did not catch him by surprise." And when I tell you, when I hear that song, God is not surprised about what I went through. He has been with me every step of the way. Me kicking, screaming, fighting, cussing, mad. He has been my rock. And he has, when I tell you this go around after losing my daughter Jordan, our daughter Jordan, he has blessed me with a husband that I absolutely love. And I have not been the best wife to this man. He deserves so much more. He deserves so much more. And there are days that I just cannot give it to him. And the God in him just continues to love me anyway. And that makes me so sad. You know what I mean? I feel like he obtained damaged goods, in that because he married me, he's having to deal with what he's got, because he doesn't want to, say, this marriage didn't work. This is too much for me. God, I can't deal with that. His strength in God is out of this world. And I look to him because I want that. I want what he has with God. And I'm damaged. But he loves me anyway. And babe, I love you. I love you. I know I say it at night. I say it during the day. I say it every morning. But babe, I really, really love you. And I thank you for putting up with the crap I put you through. He is phenomenal. God has blessed me with amazing people in my life. I have a beautiful daughter. I have a handsome son. Amazing friends, and an awesome bishop, and church family, and my family. And I wouldn't have made it without them. I wouldn't have made it without them. So yeah, that is my life living with PTSD. I'm hoping and praying that you too, if you're going through with it, you can see how, if you're doing it without God, how even if you did it with God, you're still going to hit some lows. But when you hit low, there's a cushion right up under you. God knows there's a cushion right up under you. You don't have to hit that concrete that hard, okay? So, yeah. I hope this has been a blessing to someone. I know I've been promising these videos for quite a many months. I wanted to get this out when I can do it without being too emotional. I hope I succeeded, even though I know I didn't, especially in part 1. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about it. I hope you enjoyed me throwing myself up under the bus. Go ahead and like and share these videos if you care to do so. subscribe if you haven't done so. I don't know why you haven't. And while you're at it, go ahead and click the bell so you'll be notified of my next upload. Go ahead and follow me over on Goodreads and over on my Instagram account, both at the handle Quilting Beauty and Books. Until the next video, guys, be blessed.